compared to everybody else. So their bill was like $4,800. How much do you think the Trigg County bill was? $318. That's good. So what does that tell you? We're not involved enough in this county, and we need to get involved. You guys have a lot of good people here. You have the sense of values that are important. It's like I tell everybody. I hope nobody, I really don't care if you get offended by this. If you put the Bible in one hand, the Constitution in the other hand, and then somebody holds the platform for the Republican Party in the third hand, guess what? They're all matching because they all believe in the same things. Okay? So that's how simple it is. So when somebody asks me what's the difference between a Democrat and a Republican, it's easy. It's heaven and hell because that's exactly what it is. And I mean, that's the way you really need to look at this, okay? The biggest problem we're having now is we're successful. We, over the last 10 years, have done really good. Just to show you, the 34 counties in the 1st Congressional District, at the end of July, we will only have 4 counties out of 34 that are not red. Okay? Todd County, which nobody ever expected to switch, will switch probably in another month and a half. They're already about 40 people away at it. So right after the election, they're doing a huge registration program for 2 or 3 months to get that number. Christian County is actually 163 away, but I really believe they have the number already because we have a lot of soldiers who come into Oak Grove, register, but then they get moved out. And then we have another set that come in. And the books need to be clean. And we're trying to get the Secretary of State to do that. They're working at it, but it takes time. So get involved in your party. Do what you can. If you ever need anything, I'll be standing in the back. I'll give you my card, my phone number's on there, my email's on there, address. Stop by, have a cup of coffee. I don't know. Okay? Questions? Anything? Are we going to get this guy elected?
Yeah.
So I suggested to him when I walked in the door today, because I feel that you can't give up. If we would have gave up, Trump would have never been president. Okay? If we would have gave up, we wouldn't be speaking English either. Right? We'd probably be speaking German. And to credit to the king, who was in Washington last week, who made the comment, well, you might be speaking French too if they would have gave up. So there's a good point behind that. And just get involved, do what you can. If you can donate to a candidate, now is the time to do it because they've only got 10 or 11 days to go and they need to push the button on everything they possibly have to get it out there. A couple of big things that are good for candidates right now with this last moment is like today, I was explaining, I got home from, this is my 4th stop today. I got home to change and I picked up the mail. And there's a card in there for a jail. Yet I live in Todd County. So, black and yellow, and it's got the candidate's name on there and explains what he's done. And on the back, it's got a Bible verse. And we were going through our mail with my wife, who's retired military on top of it. And there was a big one that said Andy Barr and President Trump are on the picture. But I noticed that she took the one with the jailer's name. And she put that one on the fridge. And I said, why don't you take that one and not the other one? She goes, well, it's got a Bible verse on there, first of all. And she goes, it's simple and not complicated. The only thing I need to remember is I have to vote for that person. I know I need to vote for Andy Barr. But I can't forget the small guy that we need to vote for who holds our values in our little tiny county. So we can do things like that to help candidates get across the line. So if you can give to them, if you can walk for them. I told them you should have a big blitz, and actually you should too. Big blitz, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Let's get a bunch of people out there knocking on doors. They have an app that the Republican Party gives to all of our candidates for free. Okay? And it has every single registered Republican on it. it'll even tell you when you go to the door and you say, "How you doing, sir? Can I please have your vote?" "Oh, I vote all the time." Well, you know what? When you walk away, you can really look at it and say, "No, you only voted once in the last 3 times," because it actually holds your voting record for 6 years in there. So it has everything in it. So if you can help out, we really appreciate it. I'm going to give it back to you, Troy.
Thank you. Thanks for coming too, it means a lot. Greg, I'm gonna let you come up. Greg's gonna be running for manager in number 2 district? Number 4 district. I'll tell you a little story about Greg. He worked for me at the penitentiary a long time ago. He was a lot skinnier then. He was a little bitty guy. But he worked for me and he did very well, and that's why he's here. And if I could vote for you, I would. I'm not in that district. But he's a good friend of mine, and if y'all live in that 4th district, give him a look at it.
I appreciate it. Thank you for inviting me out today. I really wasn't prepared to say anything. I just got off work, as you can tell, and I was actually going door to door. And I thought, man, I got to stop and say hi to Troy. And he said, "Well, you're going to get up here and talk." And I said, "Well, I ain't got a lot to say at the moment, but I'm going to figure it out." So here we go. First, I want to start off, and I agree. You know, we got to thank God for everything that we have, and we got to thank that to guide us in our lives. Like I mentioned a while ago, I'm a young man for Locust Grove Baptist. Been there for 9 years. Been a young man for 4 of those years. Do a center shot program teaching our youth. Coached baseball out here for many years. I see a couple of kids that I've coached with your grandson. My kids are way better at baseball than I am now, so I kind of backed away from that. And happened to be at the same time that Jeff Broadbent told me that he was going to run. Jeff is my neighbor, great friend. He's encouraged me to run for several years, and I've always told him, "No, you do a fine job. I would probably vote the exact same way that you have on a lot of things." So with that being said, I just want to read a Bible verse here, Exodus 18:21. That advises Moses to select capable, God-fearing, trustworthy leaders who despise dishonest gains to serve as officials over the thousands, the hundreds, the 50s, and the 10s. I feel like mine is in the 10s right now, but that's fine. I'm not a politician. I'm not going to be a politician. I just want to be a voice from my community in Cerulean, Wallonia, and this area over this side. I actually grew up on 4558 Princeton Road until I was about 9 years old, and then I moved over to Cerulean, where I've been ever since. I just want to represent District 4 votes. I want to advocate the concerns of our district for residents with a strong focus on long-term infrastructure needs that we need. Our roads are pretty decent, but I want to make sure we get our fair share of those fundings for the roads. I want to be responsible for our funds. I want to be responsible for the taxpayers' money. That's what I want to do. I will ensure that our dollars are spent wisely, hard work, accountability, and integrity. I'll leave here with one verse that's really stuck with me since I lost my dad, and it's James 1:2-4. It reminds us that through perseverance, we develop trials. Through those trials, we develop maturity and strength. And throughout my life, the trials that I have went through have brought me and made me the man that I am today. And without God having I to be here, like I said, I wasn't expecting to speak. I'm not a public speaker, but thank y'all for your time.
Is there any more matters that showed up? All right, I thank everybody for being here. All my kids are here. Lakin, Bridget, Stacia, and most of my grandkids. There's a couple of them missing, and you ain't gonna believe it, my dad's here. He hardly don't show up. He's due to his health. And then my cousin back there, he showed up. And some good friends from other counties. So this is about building family and relationships. Because when you get in a position like this, you're going to need other counties' help. And one of my main goals, starting out, is to build a jail for this county. Some say that's impossible. They had a jail and they tore it down. Well, I had a meeting with Stan Humphreys, and my question was, is building a jail out of the question for for Trigg County. And he told me, he said, no, that's not off the table. Well, I'm gonna tell you, that's gonna be my main goal, is to build a jail. And I'll be good at it, because you know why? I run the most dangerous and toughest jail in the state at Kentucky State Penitentiary, which is 3 cell house segregation units. Actually, I have 14 of my 21 years in that cell house. Almost lost my life. Got a brother that worked with me back here in the back. He's been on some teams with me where, you know, it was bad back in the day. Actually, there was a couple in here. Chuck, this guy here, took him under my wing when he first started there, and means a lot for Chuck being here. And who else worked with me? Lewis Brand, you worked with me, not for me. And this is my boss, currently boss up here front, Tiago, and Jenny Stewart. He hired me. I think he wished he would have fired me. Really good guy to work for. So means a lot for y'all being here. Dr. Bilaba was even here. Very good doctor. He is all over the hospital. Even on Saturdays and Sundays. I mean, wonderful doctor. But building the jail, you can keep that $300 and something thousand that we let Christian County use. That's what it costs them to hold our inmates. And I've got a plan once I do get elected to start doing that. It might take me 4 years to do it. It might take me 5, but that's my ultimate goal. One thing I'm gonna bring to the table is experience. You know, I got 30 years experience in law enforcement. A lot of training. And I know what I'm doing, and I know how to do it. I know how to teach safety. I know how to teach, if you get attacked, takedowns. I mean, my boss has seen this a few times. But, yeah, I want to bring training to officers. Got one guy back there to work with. He's not going to mention his name, but he's currently working, the deputy jailer. But me and him work side by side, and means a lot for him being here for me tonight. And he's still currently working for the deputy. But that is some of the things that I'm going to do, and working for the community. I want to write the whole policy for jailer. I don't even think there is one. But I want to be part of the community, part of the kids. You know, just if somebody calls me up and says, hey, I need some help, I want to be that kind of person. You know, 24/7. You know, my schedule is going to be 24/7. I'm going to have a schedule. In the vehicle, if it don't have a cage in it, it will have one when I get there, because I'll be taking people to jail just like everybody else will. I want to work with my team. To lead from the front, you got to work with your team and know your team. That's right. Miss Nikki here, she works at Jenny Stewart kitchen. Me and her become really, really good friends. Actually, she cooks for me a lot. Yeah, she takes good care of me. I love her. And it means a lot that she come. Actually, you're one of the first ones here with me. But let me look at my list here. Because if anybody's got any questions at any time, if you don't want to raise your hand after it's over with, you can catch me over at that table. If it's a personal question, you can catch me over at that table and ask me any kind of question, even the bad stuff that you hear on the internet. Ask me about that. I've got an individual here tonight. I'm skipping over a little bit. I got an individual here tonight. I'm not going to point him out. Got to meet him knocking on doors. He called me at the dollar store. He said, I got a personal question for you. I said, let's go. Go outside and answer his question. It's a question that's out there. And I told him. And he was good with it. He said, I didn't know that, you know. But appreciate you being here. I'm not going to point you out, you know. Yes, sir.
How old do you think it is too old to be the jailer?
What, excuse me?
Do you think somebody could be too old to be the jailer?
Too old?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I'm not going to be negative about anybody, but if somebody's in close to their 80 years old, I don't think they can defend themselves very good. Right. I don't think they can at all. Cause you got, I'm telling you what, I worked Trigg County Jail for 4 years, and I've been in several scuffles.
Yeah.
And this one knows, he's been with me, and I was always told by the jailer to, hey, handle that.
Who was that?
Who was that? Well, the jailer now. We had an inmate that was out of line when I was working, handle that, and I handled it. And I handled it professionally and justifiably. You know, I didn't do it no wrong way, because it's all about respect.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you, since I've been working at Jimmy Stewart, I've had several inmates. One of them was on death row. I don't know how he got out. I actually invited him here tonight. He might not have a right. And I'll say his name. His name's Charles Russell.
Yep.
He worked for me for many years at the prison on death row, and he got off death row. And even when I worked at other institutions, I seen him. Green River Correctional Complex. I would go all over the state. I would work all over every prison in this state I've worked at. I've either audited, I was a state auditor. I audited every prison twice, sometimes 3 times. All but KCIW. I didn't handle Zara because one was prison. Because I've heard stories about them. But, did that state, I love, they tried to get me to do it when I retired. It's a good job, but, yeah. Let's see. But that's a good question. Yes, sir.
When did you become a Republican and why?
I became a Republican in 2020. I was a Democrat, and because I became a Republican, because I didn't like all the stuff that was going on, defunding the police, and that's when I got my tattoo of the American flag and supporting the law. Does that answer your question, Mr.? All right. Another thing I want to do, if I get that jail, I want to build a drug treatment program and alcohol. I've talked to the other guys from the issue about this because we got to have that.
Yep.
I mean, I started the transition program at Eddyville, and for 7 years, and it works for inmates that's got 15 years home time. If you complete this program in 8 months, it's hard. All your home time goes away. But not in prison here. Programs can be, if you complete this program, you're going to be drug tested every time you come. I just send your family to Gatlinburg or something. Have something for them. Get support. They got support in transportation and education. That's what I'm about. What's that?
Something they can look forward to.
That's right. Something they can look forward to. And man, I will break my back to help them out. But they gotta want to help themselves.
Right.
If they don't want to help themselves, you can't help them. And there's been many inmates that I've helped that didn't think that they would ever change, but they did. Gang members. I got one inmate that was a gang member for years and years, and I couldn't believe it, but he's doing good. I made a post on Facebook. Y'all can go look at it. It was the officer that got stabbed over at Eddyville about a month ago. Chuck?
Sadly on Pierre.
Exactly on Pierre. He got stabbed. So when I see stuff, that hits me. So I made a big long post about it, and I usually don't do that, but I felt I needed to, and a lot of people liked it. And there was one person on there that said Troy Bell, a name that I haven't heard in a long time. Salute. This guy was a leader of the Simon City Royal Gang at the penitentiary. He was actually a foreman of mine. And if they knew that, they would have killed him. But had a lot of people like that. And you got to have that to run a prison. But we're not talking about prison today. We're talking about jails. Let's see here. I don't want to be long-winded, so y'all stop me at any time to ask a question. Another thing for the jail, I want it to be a stepping stone for anybody that wants to get in law enforcement. If they want to get in the police department, sheriff's department, if they want to get state police or whatever, I want it to be a stepping stone because I got the material and I got the mind to teach them to be ready to go in law enforcement. If some young guy wants to come along and do this, Or if they just want to hang out and work, that's fine too, but I do want it to be a stepping stone for sheriff's department, police department, and things like that.
Hey, Troy,
Yeah,
aren't you
yeah.
a negotiator too?
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into it, thank you though.
Okay.
I will go over my career real quick. I don't want to be long-winded because I know people gets bored, but I will go over my career. I started at the penitentiary in 1998 as a correctional officer. I worked 4 years as an officer with Vance Lockhart. He's back, the big guy back there. He used to be little, but he's on the way. We worked together. I got promoted in 2002 as a sergeant. Went to midnight. Guess where I worked? 3 cell house, segregation unit. So I worked as a sergeant for 2 years. I believe it was 2 years. Got promoted to lieutenant. Oh, the midnight's to the day shift. Got promoted to lieutenant. Got called home. Hey, we announced lieutenants, and this ain't here with name, and you was too. But you're going back to midnight's 3 cell house. Went back to midnight's 3 cell house. I worked as lieutenant for 7 years, but I worked different positions as lieutenant. I was an administrative supervisor, I was a mailroom supervisor, like a postmaster. I was the drug screen court. Eventually went into, and after that, I was internal affairs, and the warden had to talk to me. He's like, "Hey, what do you think about going to captain?" I was like, "Well, that's what you need me to do, because that's." I want to be needed somewhere I needed, I'm needed. And he said, but I can't promote you in internal affairs because I never promote anybody in internal affairs because he put me out. He put me in ship commander, assistant ship commander. Supposed to be a captain, but I was assistant ship commander. And worked that a little while. We interviewed for captain. I made captain. I was a captain for two years, not very long. Another warden come in, and he got to know me, and he called me in his office. He said, "How would you like to be unit administrator over 3 cell house?" He said, "I need somebody that can run that place." I was like, "Well, I want to be major." What used to be called senior captain. That was where I was wanting to go. Security. I didn't want to go in the suit and tie guy, but I did. I interviewed for that, and I got it. Started hostage negotiation. Warden called me in there and said, "Hey, how about being commander? I like the way you're doing things. So that's what you need me to do, I'll do it. You're commander of the Kentucky State Penitentiary Hostage Negotiation Team." A couple years later, "Hey, what do you think about being Western State Commander over all the other prisons?" I was like, "Hey, that's what you need me to do, I'll do it." So I did that. That's where I met Jason White, right here to my left. Didn't know he was famous at the time, but went to a police convention in Columbus, Ohio. I told this on my podcast, if y'all seen it last night. I've got a podcast that he does, Detective Jason White on YouTube. You can look at it, you can watch the whole show. Anyways, he was in Columbus, Ohio. I think there was 500 people there. Man, he was boring. I watched, 7 or 8 special guest speakers, and I'm like, probably like y'all are doing me right now. But, quit laughing, Glenn. Good buddy of mine right there, good pool player. Anyways, Jason come up. I thought, man, who's this guy? He just, oh man, he's gonna be boring. Boy, was I wrong. Everybody in that room was locked on to him. And y'all just want to see a little bit of it tonight. You're gonna be glad you come. Not trying to blow you up or anything over there, but you just wait. So he got a standing ovation. Only one area got a standing ovation. 500 people standing and clap for this guy, and I'm like, that's the guy I want. So I was there to get a special guest speaker. That's what I want. So the line was a mile on the way. I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours in line, and I finally got there, and I was in a hurry, and I just went up to him. I said, "Hey man, you ever been to Kentucky?" He looked at me and said, "I ain't never had nobody talk to me like that though. But hey, give me a plane ticket and a hotel and I'm there." got his information, and we've been good friends ever since. He's gonna tell that story a little bit, but he's been in Kentucky, I don't know how many times, but I've been on 4 shows of the podcast. One of them's number 4 or number 5?
4 or 5.
Number 4, number 5, it's what is a correctional officer? So we went and talked about that in prison days and things like that, but we're gonna get to him. I'm gonna take some questions. It don't matter what kind of questions it is. If it's bad questions that you've seen on the internet, please ask me. Because that's what this is for. I told everybody that wanted to hide by their hidden names and don't want to tell who they are, I said, come to my meet and greet, ask me them questions. I don't think any of them's here though. But anybody got any questions? I know some. Went to this lady's house back here 2 weeks ago. We had a good conversation. And the other lady got mad because she did reconcile and I didn't go to her house. So I love respect me.
Are you computer operated?
Computer? Can I operate a computer, boss?
And do you do the pencil and paper deal in what's the modern technology?
Yes, ma'am. I can do all that. Actually, at work now, I do monitor tech mostly, which is I run a camera system, a computer system, phone calls, operator, and then I take a break and then have to be guard sometimes.
So you can be connected with the sheriff, the police, the judges, and everything, and you have to call for someone. Someone calls you to bring. The judge says, "Bring the prisoners down." You'll know who to bring because you're all in that category.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we'll know who to
And
bring.
I heard their other one that's running against you is pencil and paper.
Yeah, but there won't be no pencil and paper. There will be a lot of technology coming that way where that's not needed. A tablet will have that, and we'll go by that. That's a good question. You've been paying attention. But there's multiple. I've also on the SEALs team. My boss said, "I'm gonna nominate you to be on the SEALs team." I said, "All right, that's what you need to do."
What's that?
I'll tell you what, I wasn't going to. Tiago, come up here for a minute. This is my boss, Tiago Montoya.
To answer your question, SEALs team is a group of employees at our facility that represent the other employees and put together functions, things to keep them more involved, things to show their gratitude for the other employees that work there. And yeah, I especially picked out Mr. Bill here because he just embodies all of that. Truly outgoing, truly caring. As far as his work with us, yes, he can work with computers very well. We've definitely made sure that multitasking is part of a big chunk of his job, being able to do both computer and practical work as an officer. So we kind of pull on all his talents, and he hasn't let us down yet. As a matter of fact, as far as bringing him on, we brought him on and brought him for an interview because of that extensive resume. His department with us is security at the hospital. Truly extensive resume that came when he came to our door front. But since then, we've seen so much more of what he's been able to bring to the table and develop our, not only what his own personal that he's brought in as far as all the extensive education, extensive knowledge, extensive experience. But I can say this, and I have to give up a little bit, but our department and our team has become quite a bit better just with him being involved and his ability to pull out characters that we've also brought on that were in connection with Troy. So I already know, I know the Officer Taylor here does have some other underlings that come along with it, and that's something I know I feel confident he'll be able to bring to the table if he elected Taylor, is that the people that he able to bring in, not only does he lead them well, but he brings in quality people. So we've actually kind of leaned on Troy and some of the connections he's been able to bring in, which is, I have to admit, bolstered our department that much more. So if you're electing Troy, you're getting a great guy. I've seen him. One thing that surprised me when I did bring him come from a penitentiary setting was in the hospital, you're not dealing with such high level of blackballing inmates. You're dealing with customers. You're dealing with people in their anxiety. They have things going on with their loved ones that make them get escalated and go into anxiety. And how do you deal with that on that level when you're not carrying your gun, when they're not locked up? These are just regular citizens who might be having some of the worst days of their life. And so to be able to come from that environment and still show a level of compassion and integrity, really have seen and believe in Troy's ability to do that and seen it firsthand. And since you guys elect him, I'm hoping you'll be able to see that too. The only bad side is I have less of them, so if you don't elect him, I'm not too mad at you, because I'm going to get criticized, but I do think he's probably more needed in that capacity. I'm going to pull on him still, but you're getting a really great guy, and I've seen it firsthand, both from the ability to enforce the law and follow the law, but do it with respect, integrity, and doing it in the right way, not losing his humanity while still balancing that authority that's carried. So I gotta say, elect Troy Bell, your integrity.
He's been wanting to say that for a long time. Got another good friend here I want to bring out before I finish up here. James Lucian. We've become really good friends. I call him Loose Change. This guy
He's probably
hope
lucky.
you don't mind me telling this, but y'all know what Blackwater is? Blackwater, Special Ops. This guy has been all over the world doing Blackwater, Special Ops. Where are you hiding? We've had some drug problems over there, or wrong drugs, and we've gained each other's respect and become really good friends. And I appreciate James Lucian and his girlfriend Sonia. Raise your hand, James. James got no filter. He's liable to say anything to even new guys. But we know how he is, and we're like, oh no, here he goes. I love you, man. Thank you for being here. It means a lot. And Lewis Brown, one that sat in front of him, he's a school teacher in Nashville. We've become very good friends. Everybody I work with, I'm telling you this because everybody I work with, there's a relationship there and a trust, and I'm compassionate about that, and it means a lot. I know there's some more in it. Ronnie Head, this guy's from Creighton County where the officer got shot. Me and Ronnie played ball together 30 years ago. Been very close friends. We're on the same fantasy football team for 20 years now. He's here from Creighton County. He used to be the PDA of Creighton County. Then he retired there. Means a lot being here. And my neighbors back in the back, Johnny and Mandy. Come out some good supporters. They seen somebody taking my sign down and Johnny flipping them off. Saying, "That's your name." I'm not going to say the word to you. I said, it's all right, man. We're just fixing it. Anyway, yeah, it means a lot. I want to appreciate David and Linda Wells, Patsy and Rick Painter in the back. Man, they've been a real help to me. A real help. David's he's a good one for me. He's another one that got no filter. He's liable to tell. He's actually went to the candidate and said a few things to him that he didn't like. I'm not going to repeat it. Yeah. Trying to see everybody here, Milton Nolan. Also want to thank Don and Francine. This is Aaron Akers' mother, by the way. They've helped me out a whole lot. She's put signs up for me, campaigned for me. Don's done a whole lot. He don't care to tell anybody who he's voting for. Actually, he's got 2 signs in his yard, mine. And I thought Aaron was going to be here. He'd be playing golf. I was going to let him get up here and talk. But Aaron's done a lot for me. And we worked together 4 or 5 years and got a lot of respect for him. So, yeah, I wish he was here so he could get up here and talk. But maybe he'll be here later. Let's see who a lot of my family. Carl McElvain's the one who cooked the barbecue. That's my father-in-law. He's a cook, so I wanted to get him. That's a bad help. And my mother-in-law Angie. They've had bad health, but good Lord's been good to them. And I introduced my dad, my daughters, Bridget, and Lakin, and Stacia. She's back in the back. Bridget, where's Lakin at?
Right here. Right here beside me.
Lakin.
Right here beside you, miss.
Ms. Lockhart, I think that's what I'll let Jason do. Huh? I didn't say my wife.
He did.
Say it again. Oh yeah, and all the mothers out here, happy early Mother's Day. I lost my mother years ago, and oh, in my heart, but I always remember on Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day, everybody, all the women with kids. You hear me, Simon? Happy Mother's Day. Anything else, campaign manager? Have I covered it? I gotta tell you a little story about Lockhart right here. We worked years together at the penitentiary, and when I was a sergeant, he was lieutenant. I was rough. I was like, I'm not taking no lick about it. He's like, man, just try to keep it quiet tonight. I was like, well, I'm not. Did they run out now? I said, we'll have to, take care of the problem. And I know about 4 or 5 times he told me, oh, you're going to get fired again. And I was always justifiable in everything. We did the right thing. We always worked very good together. He actually worked at the hospital. He's the one that got me to come to the hospital. And then he left me. Did I leave anybody else?
Jason. You left Jason out.
Jason Ward, did he left?
He probably
He's
did.
going to go back to Oklahoma. Let me tell you, I'm going to get Jason White up here. Y'all give him a hand, and he's going to blow you off your feet, I'm telling you. A brother from another mother. Thank y'all. After this, we'll be over here, he's signing autographs, and I've got keychains for everybody, and pins, so come over there. Man, I tell you what, this guy comes all the way from Tulsa, Oklahoma, just for me.
I like to say that. Thanks, Troy. You know what? I'm really proud of this guy. I've watched him grow as a human being from the time that I first met him almost 10 years ago, and we have stayed close ever since. He brought me here to Kentucky, and when I came here, I taught the first time I spoke was in LaGrange, and we were there at the Kentucky State Reformatory, which was awesome. I got to actually see people make the license plates, and I got a tour through the prison. It was really amazing. And then from there, I've come back to this state. This is my #1 state to speak in outside of the state of Oklahoma. I've spoken in Lexington, Louisville, here, Covington, a couple of those cities multiple times. And it is an honor for me to be here tonight. I can't think of a better place I'd rather be. I've spoken in several states already this year. And some of you may have seen me on the show called The First 48, which is on A&E over 20 years. In Tulsa, we've been on that show for 12 years. I've been on the most episodes in the history of that show, or #2, I think right behind the supervisor, but I have the most cases that have been profiled on that program, and it has been an absolute blessing. We don't get paid to be on that show, and actually they just put a stop to it. But we don't get paid to be on that show. However, I will tell you this, whoever allowed us to be on that in Tulsa, it has been an absolute blessing for our city. In the areas of the city that are purple, where the most crime goes on, the citizens that live in those areas, they appreciate us. And we're talking about individuals that live in specific areas that has been generational hate. Many generations. Many, many generations. And these individuals come up to us and they say, listen, we appreciate you for what you do. You treat people right, and I'm not just saying me, collectively as a unit. You treat people right, you work hard for these victims, regardless of whatever their background is. You treat witnesses the same as you do a suspect. You just treat people right. And that's really, and what you guys get on television, for those of you that have seen us, and those of you who haven't, please check it out. You get a glimpse. You get a virtual ride-along. It's not made up for television. It's the real deal. Okay. I will tell you before I forget, and I did bring a license plate. There's a lot of signatures on the back, but I want you to sign on the front. because everywhere I go throughout the country, and Troy was kind enough to get me a Tree County one, but I want you to sign it. Hey, Linda, would you be so kind to start this up for me and pass this around? I'll give you 3 different colors to choose from. Thank you, dear. She actually, her and her husband David were gracious enough to allow us to do my podcast there last night with Troy, and I'm going to talk about Troy here in a minute, but I just wanted you to at least know who's speaking to you right now tonight. I was all excited I was going to wear my cowboy hat for you, but I thought it's more fitting to wear the hat supporting my buddy. And in the city of Tulsa, since 2016, we've had roughly 650 homicides that have occurred in our city. Out of those, we've solved all of them with the exception of 29. We have 29 cases that remain open. We know who did half of those. We just don't have enough to prove it. And if you were to Google who is the most effective homicide unit in this country, Tulsa's going to show up. That's going to be what comes up there. I'm very proud to have been a part of that unit for more than 17 years. And I will tell you right now, you're hearing it here first, but Monday, I will be in a patrol car for the first time in almost 20 years. It was time. It was time. I've worked the 3rd most homicides in the history of Tulsa. I've been the lead detective in 119, and I've assisted on over 600 others. And I love it. But the problem is that I teach all over this country, and I do a lot of it. And it really takes away from being there. And by working the streets, I can do a lot more of that, and I love teaching. Because the best way to learn is to teach others. Now, when I'm talking about Troy, I'm going to tell you this. And I've worked a lot of different assignments. I just wasn't homicide, even though I've done that for a long time. I've been a cop for 28 years. I've worked undercover narcotics for a couple of those. I've worked as a school resource officer for a couple of years. I was crime scene. I was a crisis negotiator for 10.5 years. I'm actually still involved in the homicide business. I'm actually a part of a committee with the homicide investigators of Texas. And let me tell you something, they just don't let Okies do that. So I'm an honorary Texan already. I feel as if I'm kind of an honorary, I don't know how you say it, an honorary Kentuckyonian. I really do feel that way. You guys are awesome. You're absolutely great. I won't speak long, but I will talk a little bit about Troy. Troy is right. He did see me in Columbus. And when he said, he told me about who he was and have I ever been here, and I had not been to Kentucky. I've been a cop for a very, very long time, 28 years, and I know how to read people. Okay? I do. That's part of what I do. I know when people are full of bull jive, and I know when people are telling the truth. There's nobody in this room that's perfect. Nobody. Myself included. But I can tell you this much, that man that's sitting over there right now is somebody that really wants this job. When he told me about his desire to do this particular position, I was like, why? Why do you want to do this? And I wasn't asking him why because I was like, I didn't think he was able to do it. I didn't think that he wasn't the right guy for the job. But I wanted to know sincerely, even though I don't live in your community, why do you want to do that job? You're already retired, man. You worked in the prison for over 20 years. You've done your part, and you're putting yourself back into the ring. And at this age, is that something that you really want to do? And I've asked him this question many times. And this is many, many phone calls. And I will ask him that same question. And I'm doing it because I wanted to see what he was going to say for you. And the first thing that he says is, he goes, it's not about me. It's about serving the community. That's what this is about. He was seeing things that he felt could be done much better in your community. And I was hearing all of the right things from him. And it's not just that, but he really believes that he can do something for your community to make it not only safer for the inmates, for the staff, for the community as a whole. And he's got all of the tools necessary to do this particular job. The most important skill for anybody that's in the law enforcement world, or corrections for that matter, is your ability to communicate. And I will tell you this, you're not going to get to become the Western Kentucky commander of crisis negotiators if you don't know how to communicate with people.
Right.
These are the things that I keep telling them your constituents need to know, okay? You should research, and maybe not everybody in this room right now is completely sold on who you're going to vote for. I get it. I get it. When you see somebody their name has been on the marquee for a long, long time, it's easy to just check that name. I understand that. And really, me coming to you from Oklahoma might not mean much. But I will tell you that I can speak to this man's character from my interactions with him, and when he said that we're a brother from another mother, I love this guy. I do. And he really, really wants to do this job for you. And he wants to do it for a long time. You know, he wants to show you that he can do this. He wants to bring a little technology to the table. And I think that that's what's needed. And I was really shocked to hear that that's not really going on right now. And he said something earlier when he was talking too, is he said he's going to put a cage in his car and he's going to do it. He may be transporting people too. And one of the rules of leadership is you don't ever ask somebody to do something that you're not willing to do yourself. And if he's willing to do that, right there, that tells me a lot about that man's character. And his family is supportive of him, and they're supportive of his decision. If you don't believe that, look and see what his daughters say about him online. And they're defending him, and they're out there, and they're getting it out there. And Troy, one of the things that I really do appreciate about it, and he means this. He really does mean this. Is that if you have any questions, concerns, comments, he will address each and every one of them. Okay, and he's not going to give you some deflecting answer. He's going to tell you what's up. Okay, and I don't know. I really don't want to continue to keep you guys any longer on this wonderful Saturday evening, because it means a lot for him to show up here on your weekend of all times. The last thing I will mention is that I'll be sitting right over there at that table, and he's got keychains and he's got a lot of little things. Patsy, you're the bomb. Patsy's the one that did. Yeah, let's get She's got me a couple of posters that are the bomb. And but anyway, she